So I really enjoy being here. A lot of my closest friends are here, which is where I usually feel the best, is when I can see those people.
So as this conversation comes to a natural end, as the sun goes down on our time together, what is London to you then, if that's the closest thing to home?
London's like just where I'll want to be at some point. And it's a weird one because after traveling so much, I don't look at the future as like, I'm going to live in this one place and then I'll never move anywhere. I think it's just about like being happy. I just want to be happy. And
are you?
I feel pretty good right now. Yeah.
You had fun making this album?
Yeah, so much fun.
What's the most fun memory of making this album?
I'd say probably my favorite memory from making this, one of at least, was the day we wrote Golden. We stopped and went to have dinner, and we were all sat in the kitchen at Shangri-La. And we kind of just played it like on one guitar, and everyone kind of singing it around the table. And it just felt really good. Like, it felt so much more joyous than last time. And I think that makes sense because, like you said, the first single was a 7-minute piano ballad, so like it would have been weird to come out being really joyous. But
you keep going.
Oh yeah?
Still speeding. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, great. And I think part of the thing with like the mushrooms thing for me is that I never do anything when I'm working. Mm-hmm. And I don't even drink when I'm working. If I'm touring or anything, I don't drink really at all. And when I was in the band, it was like, to me, it felt like it was so much bigger than any of us.
Yeah.
That I kind of felt like I'm not going to be the one who fucks it up. So I was like, now is the time in my life when you probably go out and experiment and do this and you take this and you do that.
Because it's on your shoulders.
And that's what you do with your friends. And I was like, I'm not going to be the guy who messes it up. So I was like, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Making this record felt like, I just felt so much more joyous. And I was with my friends and we were in Malibu.
Safe.
And it was like, yeah, I felt so safe. It was like, I want to take some mushrooms, I'm going to take some, like, now's the time to have fun. Like, we're in Malibu, 24. I'm also in music. I'm not like, do you know, it's like, you know, it's like I'm not...
You wouldn't be the first musician to
like
experiment in that environment.
I'm not like a politician. I don't think it's that crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy. It's definitely not crazy. What is the, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I think my thing with drugs is like, if you're taking anything to escape, but to try and hide from stuff, then you shouldn't even drink. And if you're taking anything to like have fun and be creative, then great. And I was with my friends, and making an album, you obviously get so in your head and you get so like self-conscious about everything, and you hit these bumps in the road where you're kind of thinking, is this good enough? And is it this enough? Is it that enough? There's like an afterflow of some of that stuff where sometimes you take something and then for 10 days after you're like, don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine. Like it's like kind of stress relieving in
Totally.
in a sense.
And that's where you're at now, I guess, in your life as you redefined success and you had fun making this album, is that you're just trying to worry less?
I think so, yeah. I think that's like been a big part of this whole thing for me, is like, I'm just trying to go through life being a little less worried about stuff. Definitely with like working, because ultimately it'll be okay. It's like, if you don't hit the top of the chart, your life doesn't change. Like, I think realizing that, it's like, if that was what I was aiming at and then it didn't happen, then I'd feel so much worse. But redefining it for me has been amazing to be like, oh, but that's not the game I'm playing.
You did it.
There's a freedom with that. And
you know, you don't get to go out on arena tours with Jenny Lewis if you're trying to play the game, you know.
She's so sick.
She's the best. You don't take Casey Musgraves out before she won the Grammy if you're trying to, like, these are bold moves. It's obvious how talented Casey and Jenny are, but you would be making a far more methodical, chart-based decision, you know, taking someone else out that would fill a different kind of void, you know what I mean, in the night?
Yeah.
Whereas it just strikes me that you're making decisions based on what's making you happy.
Especially with that stuff, because Casey, I just love her. Her coming on tour I was more thinking of like, who do I want to watch every night for like 30 shows?
Yeah.
You know?
And you were so dialed in. The timing was unbelievable because that album is so special.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's like the whole world works it out.
She was booked before the album came out.
Which is nuts.
Because I just think she's so good.
Unbelievable. Her
and
voice.
I just want to watch people who are inspiring, and you just want to be around like good stuff. I'm just a massive fan of hers. So when she came out, it was really cool for me that she was coming. And then obviously the new album came out and it was like, this is amazing. You know, same with, I mean, Leon came out last time.
And you got KP coming out in the UK.
Yeah, she's coming out this time.
Jenny Lewis coming out in the US. It's all dialed in, man. And this album is really, it's an amazing listen from beginning to end. Covers a lot of different ground, really revealing and in a really beautifully written. Some amazing lyrics in there that really kind of, I haven't heard people put into context before. Songs like Falling, and, you know, we talked about Cherry and Fine Line, the more mellow moments, but also, you know, even talking about, you know, the Canyon song where, you know, you're just putting into you know, the idea of reflecting and reminiscing on a time when it was simple. And it's just really great, man, from beginning to end.
Thank you.
It's been good to connect and talk to you for the first time. Appreciate it.
It was fun.
What are you going to do for the Christmas break? I mean, you don't start in earnest till next year, right?
I'll be doing something, sure, probably. Christmas, I go home, I go to my mum's.
Yeah. Are you ready for next year, though? I mean, do you feel charged up about the touring and everything else?
I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be... It's my favourite part.
Really? Even more than...
I mean, I've completely fallen in love with being in the studio now because of, like, the freedom that comes with it. And I think also now I'm kind of learning a different way of doing it. I think I'd get, like, chunks in the studio. I'd book, like, a studio for 2 months. And then I'd go and I'd be in there every day because I felt like I'd kind of be like, well, we've booked it, so we have to be in there. And I think at some point, you've written everything that you have to write in the moment, and you realize you're not actually living because you've just been in the studio for 3 months. So I'm kind of working out still the balance of, like, next time maybe I'll go in the studio for a couple weeks at a time while continuing to just kind of live.
Are you going to act again?
Yeah.
Anything on the horizon?
I'd like to. I think for me, it's like with the acting thing, like I never wanted to do it as like just doing it to like take a job. There was something about like the Dunkirk thing where when I heard about it, I was like, I want to be involved in that so bad. I just remember the way that it kind of hit me and where I was excited to watch it, like whether I was in it or not. I was like, I can't wait to see that. You know, if you get to make stuff that you're passionate about and you get to make something that makes you happy, then you're happy and no one can call you unsuccessful, which is great.
That's the redefinition of success, my man. Thanks for your time, bro.
Thank you.